What's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, man. As promised, I told you guys I was gonna do my top five Too Short albums and my top 15 Too Short tracks. As you guys know, I grew up in Oakland, California, so I remember Too Short, man, when he got the movement started. I remember when he was like this little skinny, bony nigga that was like going all around Oakland. From the bus. You know, then eventually he ended up getting the car to, where he is now, landed a major deal with Jive, becoming a gold and platinum selling artist. So I saw the movement when it started, man. And he invented that word biatch, that people still use to this day. Pretty much every rapper from, the West Coast to the South to the East Coast. So he made that terminology bitch. So yeah, man, I saw the movement, man, straight up, man. I remember he used to be with this dude named Freddie B. And like I said, they used to be all around Oakland, like slinging them Too Short tapes. I think he started on 75 Girls Records and Cassettes. He once had he had an album called Raw, Uncut, and X-Rated, if I'm not mistaken. He had a song called Invasion of the Flat Booty Bitches. This is before he got to deal with Jive, when he was independent. Then he went on to make Born to Mack. And then after the Born to Mack album, Born to Mack was put out independently at first. And yeah, the funny part about it was Born to Mack, the original version, had only 7 songs, but the funny part about it was the songs were so long to where they pretty much was the length of a full-fledged album. Because I think the original, I think Freaky Tales is like 9 minutes long, if I'm not mistaken, the original version. And the Dauphine beat is like 7 minutes, so his songs were pretty lengthy. And he was the only one at that time that could get away with that. It was just straight hardcore rhyming. Too Short said shit on records that, most people wouldn't dare say. So he sort of got the movement going. Him and NWA and the Two Live Crew with raunchy and hardcore lyrics. There were other guys doing it, but Too Short, shit. If you would have heard some of his earlier shit, trust me. And you gotta understand, record companies, a lot of record companies shied away from those type of records at the time because they didn't think they would sell. But Too Short, he blew up locally. He built his fan base, and then, as you know, then here come these major record labels. But anyway, Too Short wound up becoming a very successful rapper. So, shout out to him. But let me show you my top 5 Too Short albums. So bear with me for a moment. Give me a second. Hold on. Alright, at number 5, I got Life is Too Short. This is the real first release on Jive Records. This was like the real official release, and I'll explain later on. Too Short did most of the production by himself, man, but this shit was fire, man. He had the title track, Life is Too Short. He had one of my favorite Too Short songs of all time, Cuss Words. He had Don't Fight the Feeling. He had a song called Rhyming. Then I'm Not Tripping. I Ain't Tripping, excuse me. Go check out the video. You can see Mark Curry on the video. So it was, man, this really was the essence of Oakland on this album in the Bay Area, man. Too Short was spitting hard, and he was dropping some gems on this record. It was a real good album. This album went on to sell over 1 million copies, and this established Too Short as a major force to be reckoned with. At the time, Too Short didn't get a lot of love in the East Coast. Too Short's fan base was mostly when he signed with Jive. Of course, shout out to Texas, man. I really got love for Texas because they always supported our rappers, man, from E40 to Too Short, Drew Down, a couple of other people. So this was an awesome album, man. Life is Too Short, man, so check that out. All right, let's go to number 4. All right, you guys, at number 4, man, I got Shorty the Pimp, man. Man, what can I say about this album, man? This was like the first album I think Too Short brought Ant Banks on to do most of his production, because at first Too Short was producing a lot of his own tracks, man. He was doing a lot of the beats himself, him and a couple of other people, man. But this is when he brought Ant Banks on. To be honest with you, man, all you need to do is listen to In the Trunk. That's the only song you really need to listen to. But he had other slappers on here, but he had In the Trunk. He had this song that used to have me cracking up when I first heard it. It was called Stepdaddy. Then he had this song called Something to Ride To. I think that song was like 8 minutes. It was with him, Hassani. I think Pooh Man was on the track. It's like the last song on the album, and it's like the song's like 7, 8, maybe even 9 minutes, but it was a slapper. And this really showed you how good Ant Banks was as a producer. And Ant Banks, to me, is a very underrated producer. Ant Banks, he was on point with his beats making, with making these beats, man. Because Ant Banks, he don't get the credit he deserved, but Ant Banks was a really good producer. So, at number 4, I got Shorty the Pimp. And listen to the intro, too. The intro is, even the intro is good to start the album off, man. So, number 4, Shorty the Pimp. All right, let's go to number 3. Okay, at number 3, man, I got Short Dogs in the House. Man, words can't describe this album, man. He had this song called Ain't Nothing But a Word to Me with Ice Cube. Real good song, man. When I say the production was just on point, everything was there, man. I don't want to go down the track list, but I got to wrap this up because I got to get ready for work. But Short Dogs in the House is number 3, man. Like I say, superb album. All right, man, let's go to number 2. All right, at number 2, Get In Where You Fit In. Man, I'm trying to tell you, I bought this album like at least 3 times because people stole it from me. When I say Too Short was damn near at his best, Too Short was pretty much at his best, man. Every song was good. Most of his songs on here were very lengthy. He didn't have one song on here that was like under, I think 5 minutes. But it didn't matter. He had this song called Just Another Day, produced by Quincy Jones' son, QD3. He had Gotta Get Some Lovin'. He had the song was called Just Another Day, that was produced by QD3. I'm a Player, Money in the Ghetto, the title track, Get In Where You Fit In, where he just, man, they went bad on MC Pooh. Something was going on at the time. They went bad on Pooh, man. I don't really want to get into that. That's a whole nother video. Maybe I'll do a video about that, what allegedly supposed that happened. But Too Short, he really did his thing on this album, man. Just awesome production, man. From, like I said, Ant Banks, man, he was just on point. Everything was on point. Lyrics, beats, everything. So when you get a chance, check this album out. You can listen to most of these tracks on YouTube and shit. So, all right. That's number 2. And, number 1, let's go to number 1. Of course, y'all should have known it was going to be this one, man. Born to Mack. As I said before, man, originally this, when it was released locally, it had 7 tracks on there. But what happened was, when Too Short got the deal with Job, they redistributed this album, and he made a track called the Mack Attack. But this song contained, the hip-hop classic Freaky Tales, the Dope Fiend beat, Party Time, Know What I Mean, Vern. Just, these songs were lengthy, as I said before, but they you know, you didn't care because the beats was so slapping. And I'm gonna tell you something. This is where the 808 and the hard drum kicks and the heavy bass lines came from. You know, Too Short took that sound to Atlanta. You know, really the Atlanta, you know, heavy bass line shit came from us. You know, but it's cool though. You know, Too Short, you know, helped establish Lil Jon. But yeah, man, this was the one right here. You know, I listen to the Dope Fiend beat to this day. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. I know y'all gonna go, what? Believe it or not, I didn't care for Freaky Tales that much. It was okay to me, but it wasn't, you know, when people was playing it, it just didn't catch my eye. I thought it was okay, but I thought the Dope Fiend beat, that was the track. That was the track. You know, he started off, bitches on my mind. I can't hold back, now's the time. You know, I ain't even gonna, you know, but yeah, man, this was the one right here. So this is, you know, my #1 Too Short album. You know, anyway, let me know what y'all think. I'm out.